we're off again. Going back to the same property that I was just at yesterday to do another follow-up. So we ran into a situation with an individual that applied for a property. We ended up with an owner that drugged their feet on getting repairs done while it was vacant, and then finally decided on what they were doing. At the same time, somebody was applying and they wanted to move in right away, and the work hadn't been done, and they specifically wanted work done, and they were shitty about it because they couldn't understand why it hadn't been done, and blah 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 blah. So yesterday was end of the day was a lot of tracking down what had been done, what hadn't been done, trying to get this for a turnaround move-in for today. And we had a pretty long list of things that were going to be done. The bad thing is this property's been on the market for over a month, and the owner has had these bids for pretty much as long as it's been vacant, and just now decided what they wanted to do, how they wanted to allocate the money that was charged to the tenant security deposit reconciliation, but procrastinated, which put us into a kind of a tense, tight situation. So, and then I spoke with them over the phone on Friday and got a confirmation on what they wanted to have done, and then we gave approval to have the work done, and then she emailed me a list of the things that she wanted to have done as a confirmation, and the list that was on the email was different than the list that we spoke about over the phone. It was mostly right, but there was a few things that were different, and so anyway, it was a situation that didn't have to be as complicated as it being. Anyway, I ran up yesterday, which I made my recording yesterday while I was on my way up there, because one of the things that was in question was the carpet. The tenant had cleaned the carpets, or had the carpets cleaned, and didn't use a professional or one of our approved companies. They didn't provide a receipt, and the yesterday and got those uploaded. I helped Rhonda find some pictures that she was looking for that had been stored on the computer so that she could work on something she was working on for Morgan's band banquet. And I watched a little TV, and I made some dinner, and I tried not to allow myself to overcompensate by doing something that would have had a negative side effect, which last night I was just like, well, I don't feel like doing anything else, maybe I'll just drink, which I was drinking anyway, but I had to control the impulse to start slamming drinks and overdoing. So, and I was successful in that. I made it through the night without overindulging, which was a win for me, because oftentimes in those situations I don't. I just give into it and start sucking them down, and usually have some negative side effects to deal with the next day, which I do not. But so I got through the night, and that's kind of how it went. I did not feel completely, totally relaxed. I did not feel completely and totally comfortable. I just felt kind of uncertain, and that uncertainty was it was uncertainty. Everybody's had uncertainty, and there's no way to explain it and the side effects it has, but that's where I was at for the evening. But got through the evening and went through our normal nighttime routine and went to bed, and was actually kind of looking forward to going to sleep, considering the dream activity I've had the last several nights. And this was slightly different. Some strong similarities and some imagery, but definitely had a feeling of connectivity with distant friends. And I'm going to leave it at that. It was comforting, and but somewhat similar in feeling as the nights before, but slightly diminished in the effect that it had on me. But I woke up, went through the same thing, hit all my alarms in the morning, and transitioned from sleeping to waking, and again, just that feeling of uncertainty and a certain amount of doubt about whether or not I was going to be able to. Again, it was almost fear associated with my down cycle, and not knowing how cycling down from such a high level was going to impact me, and how I was going to be able to maintain that. But it's been good.
Incoming call. Press Uconnect phone button to answer.
Hello?
Hi, Jason. This is Tori with Nolan's Property Maintenance. I'm sorry to bother you.
Sorry.
Whitney just went out to Quitman Oak to take a look at it, and she said that the maid kind of missed a few things with the stove. The maid can go back out there around 12:30 at the latest today. I don't know if that's going to be an inconvenience for the tenant or for you, but if he's really picky, then he's not going to be happy with the stove, from my understanding.
I am almost to the property right now, so
Okay.
I'll take a look at it, and I will call back to the office to Rhonda, who's the leasing individual. She's the one that's been working with him to get him in there, and
Okay.
I'll have her talk to him and see what he thinks about how he feels about it, and I'll kind of give my own assessment of what it looks like, and we'll sort it out. But after I've done that, I'll give a call back and let you know how we can move forward with it.
Okay, perfect. That way I can just let the maid know whether she even needs to go back there today or not.
Right. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just wait for your call.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Phone call completed.
Another hiccup in my day, my work day. So back to where we were going before. So there's again, I woke up with that certain amount of doubt that sitting on the edge of the bed, coming to my my senses, transitioning out of my sleeping state to my wakeful state, and just not knowing how the day was going to go, and knowing that I have a certain amount of control over that just by my outlook. But again, trying not to let that fear or uncertainty affect me. And I mean, it's fear and uncertainty that's based on experience, on living through those patterns in the past and the effect that they have had on me. And again, this is applicable to you. This is applicable to anybody as far as waking up and starting your day, and whether or not you are going to create a good positive experience for the day, or you are going to let yourself be affected and take a darker turn for the day. So sitting there and just basically having faith that as I come to, that I'm going to feel better, I'm going to feel more alert, I'm going to feel better. I'm just basically having faith that I'm going to have a positive experience, even though I have that uncertainty and that slight fear of not. But as the morning went on, I did not feel as connected. I did not feel as in tune. I definitely did not feel that heightened, elevated sense of beauty and purpose, and so it was slightly concerning as the morning went on, but I just kind of tried to keep neutral and allow myself to move forward with that. Manny's here doing the lawn. So I'm going to go take care of this stuff, and I'll get back to all that. When I get back in and head back to the office, I can finish up on that, because there was actually some pretty important feelings and ideas that I had this morning that I was slightly surprised with, and had a certain amount of relief in experiencing. So we'll stop this. So task complete on that one, and I can head on back down to the office and take care of what I need to take care of. So trying to pick up where I left off. I got through my morning, and I felt like I was starting to reestablish a connection or reconnect with the appreciation of the beauty in the world, which is where I've been trying to hit every morning. And the last several days has been, like I said, extremely high, extremely elevated, very easy to, not even easy, just effortless to be in touch with that. It just was automatic. Today it took a little focus, it took a little will to connect to that, and it was nowhere near the level that I had experienced the days previous. But it was still nice, and I tried not to avoid slipping into that downside of, alright, well, I'm not going to experience that as I was the last couple of days again for who knows how long, and letting myself drift into that dark space. But I got through the morning, got myself ready. The more it went on, the better I felt. Again, it was nowhere near the level that I had felt the previous days, but it was still there. And then on the way to work and on the drive, I did have a very strong feeling of appreciation and gratitude and understanding of the beauty of the world that we're in, and where I disconnect, a void in that transfer, that ability to see and appreciate. And those are some very empty periods in life, but they're never permanent. But as we were driving today, I was really struck again by I had some of my own personal truths coming back up to the surface and identifying patterns in the things around us that replicate and indicate the nature of our existence and how we operate in this world. And I've said it, I don't know how many times, but our travels and the way we operate on the roadways is an example of life that we can learn something from. You can identify and see things in a symbolic or metaphoric perspective that give depth and meaning and understanding to the world we live in. And there were several things that had happened in the trip to work this morning that I was just like, wow, that is an exact replication of this circumstance in life, and these are the ways that people perceive that circumstance or that situation, and these are the ways that you can choose to react in those. And it just reinforced the idea that one of my projects needs to be basically driving around San Antonio on the freeways and neighborhood roads and trying to point out and identify the similarities between that act, that daily operation that most of us engage in as far as traveling from one area to another. And what do we got going on here? Fire trucks. Ooh, it's a pretty big accident. Crashed up pretty good. It's really, it's open to interpretation. What I can do is I can point out what I see, which is what the whole purpose of all of this is for me, is pointing out what I see and what my interpretation is of that, and what personal knowledge, what personal wisdom I gain from